I was recently asked how one might be able to click on a movie clip, remove the clip from an array of movie clips, and shift the remaining clips down. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to do this using the Splice method. If you haven't already seen my other tutorials on arrays, may I suggest you first view these tutorials, particularly the tutorial titled How to Create an Array of Movie Clip Objects and the tutorial titled Removing Elements from an Array. I'll set up my stage similar to the one in my Removing Elements from an Array tutorial. Notice I have already added characters to my library and set up their linkage to export for ActionScript. I'll open my Actions panel and add my import statements. Then, using the constructor method, I'll create new objects for each of my heroes. I need to insert each object into a container, in this case, the stage. I'll do this using the addChild method. Now, I'll create an array of movie clip objects using the literal syntax method, like this. I'll then create an array of X values like I did in my previous videos. I'll skip the Y values for the moment. Now, I'll create a function to place the movie clip objects on the stage. I'll call my function placeHeroes. I'll create a for loop to loop through each element in the array. I'll then set the X value for each movie clip element using the X array, like this. Since all the heroes will be standing on the same horizontal plane, I'll set the Y value to 120 for each element. Then, I'll set each element's visibility property to true. I'll execute the placeHeroes function when the program starts, like this. Next, I'll create a function to hide all the heroes. I'll name this function hideHeroes. Then, I'll create a for loop, as I did in my previous function. In this case, I'll set each element's visibility property to false. When the user clicks on the wizard, I want him to disappear. So I'll create a function to respond to a wizard click event. I'll name this function wizardClicked. It will take 3 steps to remove the wizard and shift the rest of the heroes to the left. In step 1, I'll call the hideHeroes function. In the next step, I'll use the Splice method to remove the first element from the heroes array. The Splice method requires 2 parameters and looks like this. Since arrays are zero-based, the wizard object is the first element in the heroes array. So I'll set the first parameter to 0. I'm only going to remove one element from the array, so I'll set the second parameter to 1. In step 3, I'll place the remaining heroes on the stage by calling the placeHeroes function. And finally, I'll add an event listener to respond to a wizard click event. Now I'll test the movie. I'll click on the wizard is gone, and the remaining heroes have shifted to the left. If I wanted to let the user click on any movie clip to remove it from the stage, you might think all I need to do is to duplicate the wizard clicked function. But if I do, I will run into a problem. Let me show you what I mean. When the movie starts, the index value for the wizard is 0. The index value for the knight is 1. The index value for the elf is 2. And the index value for the dwarf is 3. When I click to remove the wizard, the index values for the remaining elements will change. The index value for the knight is now 0. The index value for the elf is now 1, and the index value for the dwarf is now 2. How can I get the index value for an array element regardless of its position within the array? Fortunately, ActionScript provides us with a method to find the index value for any array element. It's called the IndexOf method. And it looks like this. I'll open my Actions panel, and in the wizard click function, I'll replace the 0 in the Splice method with the IndexOf method. Heroes is the name of the array, IndexOf is the method, and OBJWizard is the element. Now I'll copy the wizard click function and paste it 3 times. In my first copy, I'll change the function name from wizard_clicked to knight_clicked. I'll do the same for the event listener. Then I'll replace OBJWizard with OBJKnight in the IndexOf method, and again in the event listener. I'll repeat the process for the remaining functions. I'll test the movie. I'll click on the knight, now the wizard, then the elf, and finally the dwarf. To learn more, visit my website at larrystimson.com.